Sorry,
Hello,
that is dropping
everyone.
so much. You ask me or and start the interview.
Don't worry. Hello, everyone. We are here in our second interview for the day of the UNESCO Center for Peace Summer Program. We are delighted to have you here, and especially with the guest speaker that provoked such an touching feeling of empowerment in the girls and boys here in our program. I am Aireli Luna Garcia, Youth Ambassador for UNESCO Center for Peace in Mexico, and it is an honor to have you here. Samuel, the floor is yours. Samuel, are you here with us? The floor is yours. All right. Samuel is having some technical difficulties, so if we may continue. So, Mrs. Lucie is the founder and CEO of L'Emergence de l'Entrepreneur. She provoked such a beautiful emotion of empowerment in our participants today. The conference was so touching, Mrs. Lucie. I enjoyed it very much. I'd never expected for the delegates to be so into it, participating so hardly, for them to write messages and messages in the chat. And I hope that you enjoyed it very much. Mrs. Lucie, we'll start with the questions. So, first of all, one experience that you shared with us that left me amazed is that the girls that are most beautiful are sadly the ones that are less conscious of how beautiful they are, and that you were one of them. Um, and and sadly it is a pattern that it is repeating itself over and over again. So on that matter, I know that we did the affirmations with Scarlett in the conference, but which advice or ultimate advice would you share with us for these, especially for these girls, for them to feel empowered and know that they are such beautiful and so unique and most of all so important?
The first thing I will say, thank you so much for having me here once again. And it was great. It was great for me to be able to share my personal experience with you. And one thing that I would say right away is please put yourself in a position where you are influenced by people who believe in themselves, because it's very contagious. Like I said in the conference, negativity is contagious, but positivity is contagious as well. Okay, so you have to make sure that you stay where you stay actually where people believe in themselves, where people do great things, because it's going to pull you up. It's going to show you what you can do. It's going to allow you to see the things that you can actually accomplish. Now, when it comes to your physical beauty and everything, it's all right here in the mind. Okay, actually, the reality is the if you have people, friends, or maybe your girlfriends or your neighbors or stuff like that, who tell you that you're not a beautiful person. Actually, most of the time, they actually see how beautiful they are, but they try to tell you the opposite, because they want to break your spirit. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Only listen to the people who believe in you, and that's it. If someone doesn't believe in your potential, in you, and the things that you have to offer to the world, stay away from them, literally. Okay, stay away from them, please.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, like there's no reason for you to be around people that don't empower you and that don't bring up something good in you. So Samuel, we're very happy to have you back. The floor is yours. You may ask your question and present yourself. All right. Samuel continues having problems with his internet, so we may continue.
Mhm.
Um, so on that matter, I know that it is very easy to say it and very hard to do it. I was actually when I was in junior high school, I was actually bullied, because apparently the girls in my classroom didn't thought that I was worthy of their respect and of their love.
Mhm.
But um, on that matter, and I feel this is something that sadly we are lacking even more right now, is communication. When
Yeah.
I faced that experience, I didn't told my parents. It was
Mm.
one of my classmates' mother that told my mom, and she was like, "Ireli is facing this situation. Do you know?" Um, on that matter, as you say, social media has provoked such a, a unique pressure on teenagers, and
Yes.
it has provoked us to get into ourselves and not want to communicate our feelings, to communicate how are we facing these situations.
Yeah.
So on that matter, if you may tell us a little bit of your experience, I think it will be very enriching. And also, how do these girls in the 21st century with social media can do it and face it?
Yes, yes. And I feel you. I'm telling you, I grew up with no social media, and sometimes when I see what's going on social media and the way it affects even adults, I feel really sad. It's sad. Um, but everything takes time. Listen, everything worth having is gonna take time. What value do you put on your health? What value do you put on um your mental health also? If you cherish those things, if you cherish your peace in your heart, I recommend that you practice. And those young girls, that's actually one of the reasons why I was talking about exercising, because when you exercise, I mean, I will tell you, me, for example, that's one of my key secrets. I forgot to tell them that. I mean, I told them at the conference that, of course, they should exercise because it's good for your brain, for you, your health and in your mind. But I forgot to tell them that um, it's going to boost your mood. It's going to change um, the things the way you see yourself. Every single time I run, it creates something in me. Like the minute I get home, I feel like I can, nothing, you can tell me anything. I feel strong, feel empowered, my mood is up here. I feel like it that's one of the things that you guys can do. Walk out, like I said, right? First of all, please try to stay away from social media, okay? If you can shut all that thing, you're gonna feel so much better. And then when it's off, work on yourself. um Try to find people who believe what you believe. Encourage each other. um Walk out, eat healthy, because once your body feels good, if you feel good about yourself, it's going to be projected in the way you present yourself in front of people. Okay, it's definitely it's a whole other game. Like once you start working out, you start seeing some changes in your body. The way it's gonna feel is gonna create some energy, and that is definitely going to um, allow you to to show up differently in the world. Like when have you noticed that people who usually walk out, they have a different energy when they walk in the room. It's not that it's like when they walk in the room, they're there. Like they don't even have to say anything. There's kind of like some type of charisma about them. It comes from the fact that when you take care of yourself, you don't even have to say, you don't have to force it. It comes naturally. So please try that. I'm not talking about losing weight and all that stuff. I'm talking about how you feel in your body, because your body is a temple and your spirit has to feel comfortable to stay there. Okay, or it's going to leave. So you have to make sure that you take care of this body, you take care of it so that your spirit wants to stay there, and that's what you have to do.
Thank you.
And yeah, one thing maybe I can add, and I hope maybe that this can help you, is, do you know that the people who um the way the way social media works, um people just to present themselves, just to pretend to be what they're not. Sometimes, and I would say often, they post things that are not true. Do you understand? Like you will see people who are going to say, "Oh, this is who I am," or "That's what I do," but sometimes they're not doing this. I remember there was a lady last year that I saw. She said that on Instagram she sees people posting stuff that sometimes she feels the need to fake it, and she will take her luggage. She's not going anywhere though. She doesn't even have money to go anywhere. And she would take her luggage and she would go at the door and take a picture and post on social media and say, "Oh, I'm going to Paris, or I'm going to Las Vegas," or whatever, stuff like that. She posted, and when she's done, she goes back to sleep. So things like that are really ridiculous. But the young teenager or the young adult or the kids who doesn't know those things, who doesn't know that people are actually pretending, they believe that stuff and they start thinking that their life is miserable or nothing is going on, when in fact most of the time 90% of the things that people post on social media are fake. Okay, if you know that, then you know that, don't listen to that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And now we have Mr. Gidi Joken joining us, the Executive Director of UNESCO Center for Peace. And we have Samuel Cabrera. Hope that your connection is getting better.
I
So
think so.
now we may continue with some questions with them. But Mrs. Lucy, you have such an empowering vision, and I wish that these girls could recognize the beauty in them as I know that you went through such a process for you to recognize it. And now that you have reached a point in which you can even empower other girls to do it. So I admire you for that, and I am really happy for people like you to be in contact with our delegates. Um, Mr. Gidi Joken, the floor is yours. You may do a question.
Okay, thank you very much, Lucy. Again, earlier in the group, the last young girl from China, I think was very remarkable the way you answer her question, her insecurity, the fact that she wasn't sure about herself, and the fact you were able to get her to project the image of the person she wanted to be. And
Mhm.
I want you, because those listening here are not necessarily those who were in the room. I want you to really talk a little bit about that. How what am I talking about? I want you to tell people what I'm talking about, and then how your answer were able to be well received by the whole group, because I've been receiving all the feedback about that.
Yes, we were talking to Scarlett from China, who said she has a hard time believing in herself, and she has a lot of negative talk in the back of her mind, and she doesn't know how to get rid of it. And I actually shared with her that I was the same way, and even now I have to fight that stuff. Sometimes bad habits want to come back all the time, but I'm a fighter, and I consider myself as a fighter, and I'm not going to let anything slowing me down, because I know exactly where I'm going, and that's what I was trying to explain to her. And what I was explaining to her that she needs to is that she needs to be able to first of all write down her vision, the things that she really wants to accomplish in her life. She said she wants to be an actress. Now, as a future actress, you have to definitely you have to be self-confident, because you're going to be on stage. You're going to be on stage acting. What type of actress is going to be like this? And this is self-confidence is so important, guys. Like, I mean, if you don't have self-confidence, you selling me stuff and I'm not buying. Okay, I'm not buying
Definitely.
anything you sell, because if you don't believe in your product yourself, why do you want me to buy it? Okay,
Exactly.
I'm not buying if you're not if I tell you, okay, you know what, this water is good for you, blah blah blah, and you don't believe that, why are you gonna buy it? I can come and say, listen, this is the best water ever. You need this or you're gonna die. There's a
Okay, can I
difference.
get it?
Oh my
So
God.
my point here is, think about what you really want to do in life. Write it down. We already explained to you how to find your purpose. And once you're done with that, write it down on a paper, open your mouth, and start saying that you are what you want to become in your life in the future. Don't say, oh, I'm going to say it in the present tense when I get there. No, that's too late. Okay. Success is not a destination, it's a process. You do not reach success like that. You become a success as you go every single day. You can't just say, well, I'm going to be successful in 10 years. No. If you want to become successful in 10 years, you have to start right now. Look, listen, if you want to become an attorney, like a very successful attorney, start acting like a very successful attorney will act. If you want to become a successful politician, then start acting that way. Start dressing up the part. Start making sure that you iron your clothes. Start making sure that you talk like a very successful politician. Start making sure that you avoid doing certain stuff. You have to stop the small talks here and there. You have to focus. You have to study what the successful politicians do and do just that. Read their books. Like, pick one politician that you admire the most and read his biography, for example, and work on whatever he has. I mean, on yourself, so that you can actually become not exactly like him, because you can never be exactly like someone else. Because remember, I said you have your own gift, but at least that's the way you are. Success is not going to come by staying here and say, well, when I come back tomorrow, like in next 10 years, this is what I want to become. Make sure you open your mouth and you say, this is who I am. I'm a very successful politician. I'm a very successful entrepreneur. I'm a very successful speaker. I'm a very successful actress. And you say it, and you say it every single day. You wake up in the morning, you go in front of a mirror and you look at yourself. Oh my God, this is the deal. I'm the lawyer I'm talking about. Okay? Trust me, it works wonders. I did it. I
Thank
did
you.
it.
I
Okay?
think it was great to see you applying that formula, and I could tell from at the end she even looked more confident when you start,
Yes, yes. And
getting
she
that
had
effect in her.
and she
Mhm.
had a smile on her face, because and you know what happened? I could see how heavy. Have you noticed that it was heavy at the beginning? She couldn't say it
Yes,
because
yes.
she's not used to it,
She couldn't
unfortunately.
even answer your question, like, yes, but at the end, you
Yes,
could see
yes,
that she was
yes.
a new
Yeah.
person. Okay. Mhm.
I'm so happy for her. I know if she applies this, she's gonna see a huge shift in the way she thinks about herself, and that's gonna be different. But she's gonna have to practice and know that. Listen, we believe in you. We just go ahead and do it.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank you
my
very
God.
much. Yeah. Looks like we're having
Well,
some challenges, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, so Samuel, sadly, his connection he could not manage to make it work. So maybe we can make for him to participate with the interview in the interview with your son and daughter, but he will not be participating for now.
Yeah. Okay.
So we may continue. So so yes, on that matter, I do approve on the fact that affirmations are powerful, and you being the part like for me, you like not all the chairs are formal, but on the whole summer program there's formally, because I like to feel that way, and for me I want to get into politics, I so it helps me. Um, but also a phrase that really captured my attention for the delegate from Timbuktu is start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Yes.
Um, and I think that is such a powerful way, and especially because on our summer program, sadly the stereotype is reflecting that most of our African delegates have been having a lot of problems to connect to
Mm-hmm.
the conferences, to the meetings, to the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like for you to give them a message, and how can you apply this phrase on your everyday life, and take advantage of your resources.
Okay. Again, use what you have, do what you can, and you this is how it works. Which it means that if you live in a country where there they the for example, the internet connection is not that's good, you can actually record things. It's simple. You can actually record things and go ahead and record, download videos, for example, of programs that or teachings that you like and that are very important to you. You can sit down with a group of people, maybe with your team, with your small team, the group of people that you want to grow with, and you watch with them. That is so key. People sometimes don't think about details like that. Okay. You don't have to be connected directly all the time to the information. You can download it if you can, if you have access to that, and then watch it later. You can also um, try to, you know, you have to try like stop. You have to stop comparing yourself and your country to other countries all the time, because sometimes the frustration comes from there. Okay. There is a reason why those people who are, for example, what's his name again, Mohammed, there's a reason why he was born over there. Maybe he's going to be the solution for those problems. Maybe him and or other people, other groups of people who actually have the vision to see things better. There is a reason why you were born in the country where you are. And I had a mentor who used to say, he used to say, God did not give us chairs and tables and beds and things. What he did was he gave us the tree, and he hid the tree. He hid the chairs, the tables, and the beds in the tree. Does that mean? Do you understand what I mean by that? When I
Yeah.
mean by, you understand what I mean, right? Like when he says God didn't give human beings bed, chairs, tables, but he hid all of those things in the tree, which means we have to start thinking a little bit differently and say, you know what can I do to transform my life by using what I have right now? Even if I cannot have this level of success right now because of the country where I live, because, the country I live in now, what can I do to help my people get at least from one step to another one? Those type of questions, it usually starts with asking yourself questions. And like we're talking with Mr. Joken on the other line, um, when you ask yourself questions and you focus on the right thing and you focus on what matters, the answers will show up. I promise you. For some reason, I don't know how it works, but it always does. It's funny because not only people are going to start navigating toward you to help you fulfill your goals. Um, you know what? Let me put it this way. Have you noticed? Because this is an example that's going to help you understand this. If you if you if you don't, let's say for example you're driving a Toyota Corolla. Okay, I know. Are you a driver? Do you drive already?
No, so no,
Not
Okay,
yet.
unfortunately.
She's
that's fine.
17 years old, but
That's
she
fine.
will
That's
at some point.
A few
yeah.
months away.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm gonna share that just it's an analogy that you have to understand. If you it's actually that if someone drives, for example, a Toyota Corolla and doesn't pay attention to other brands, that's fine. But as soon as the person sees a BMW, for example, or a Mercedes, and they start paying attention to that, immediately, like all of a sudden, that becomes a reality to them. Not that those models and those make were not they didn't exist before. It's just that it's all that their awareness was brought to that. So in the same way, because now, because of the connection that you guys have through UNESCO Center for Peace, you have access to some type of information, and that's going to stir your mind. That's going to create the need to learn more. And that's one. And once your awareness is already awakened, there's no going back. And those people who live in places where they can't find the information, they're definitely going to keep looking and looking. And that's what you do in your country. Look around. Look around. What can you do differently so that it doesn't have to be exactly like here in the West, but right now, what can you do to change just at least for a little bit, so that the change is not going to be like sudden. You can't have like a brutal change. You can never go from level 1 to level 100 in one day. It's going to take steps. it's going to take small steps, and then you can do maybe your part from 1 to 5, and then someone else is going to pick up where you left and go further, and so on and so on. For example, Mr. Gijo, can the work that he's doing right now, it's a lot of work. I know his goal, his dream is bigger than what you guys can see, but I know for a fact that he cannot fulfill this alone. Okay, and even after, but the good thing about it is he created something, he created a system, and when he's no longer there, someone else is going to have to continue this work, because that's how it works. That's what you do when you live in a country where you don't have the means to do everything. Do a little bit, just a little bit, and one day someone is going to come and do another, and take it to the next level, so on and so on, until we're going to get the result we're looking for.
Yes.
Okay, I think you said it all. You put it pretty well, and it's been a very interesting journey. Okay, with you. The last question I'm going to ask you, it's a very personal one, and I'm ready to take some punches. What is the recipe to having two amazing kids, the way, two amazing authors, the way the two wonderful kids you have? So just tell us the recipe, how you do that.
Wow. I think it's work, and I believe in them. Like I believe in all the youth that we were talking about today. I believe in them. It requires a lot of sacrifices, which means, I mean, of course, grace, but there's a lot of work here. There's a lot of restrictions. We don't have the cable TV at home, for example. We don't have it. We turned it off 10 years ago. It's true. We turned it off because my husband and I always felt at a certain point when we decided to look at ourselves in the mirror in this country, we said, okay, we are both immigrants. We don't even speak English at all. We're just trying. People who were born in this country have an edge. And we said to ourselves, listen, we're not going to spend the little money that we have to pay for cable. And I started to feel like I was paying for my own distraction. I had stuff to do, and I looked around and I was like, I don't know how those people do this, and I don't know how these people do that. And I started to ask those questions myself, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should turn the TV off, because every single time I turn on the TV, I'm so depressed after. And I think that created the fact that it's the fact that we shut it off. It allowed us to have a little more time. The kids didn't like it, of course, because they love it. But in the meantime, they started to get rid of it. Now they don't even care anymore. Because after 10 years, I mean, my son is he's 16, my daughter is 12. They actually, imagine 10 years ago she was 2, and 10 years ago he was what? No, oh no, sorry. 10 years ago, yeah, she was 2, and 10 years ago he was 6, right? 6, exactly. So can you imagine these 2 kids grow up with no TV? Of course, when they turn 12, we bought them cell phones, but it's different. They don't have that access to distraction that much, and I think it helps a lot, because when I tell people that TV and social media especially social media, it's a huge distraction to teenagers. I know what I'm talking about, because teenagers are very fragile. They tend to pay attention to what's going on left and right, and the peer pressure. But if you can manage to guide your kids and put the right information in front of them, they're going to follow the right information. We go to the libraries, we read books. They have friends, but we check the friends that they have. We make sure that they don't have fake friends or wrong friends, or people who are going to lead them to stuff that not. And then they read a lot, and when you know what, we choose we actually we give them the type of books that is going to stir in their mind actually it makes them hungry, you see.
Yeah, that curiosity.
The curiosity, exactly. So that's why I think that's it helps a lot. I'm not gonna take credit for all this. I have to say the type of books that they're reading, and then the coaching and mentoring at home, and that's help. And finally, we have 2 authors. And
This is amazing. I know. I don't. I really would like to to sneak in and tell us, when will you be? I know that you'll be interviewing the kids, right? So do you when and how? When?
Yeah, so we are having an interview with Mrs. Lucie's son. I am hope I am saying their names right. Elikia Rachel and Greg Daniel. It's going to be today at 7 p.m. EST. So we are waiting for everyone to join us. These kids they like writing a book at the age of 12 is just remarkable. Um,
And what's the
just
topic again?
remarkable.
What's the topic of the book?
Her
No,
her
no.
first no,
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
her first book was Who Says Kids Can Cook.
Exactly. I knew that.
Yeah, she was actually challenging the adult, like, what do you guys think? You think we can't do anything? Okay, here we go. And
Okay. And
and then
also, another
and then
relevant thing.
the
Go
second
ahead.
one is, yeah, the second book is on it's they wrote it together. It's King COVID-19.
Okay.
It's about COVID-19. It's amazing. I think I have it here. It's an amazing book. But that,
Okay, please.
yeah,
Wonderful.
it is such
Okay.
a book. It's actually for kids, elementary school, and that's it. Like it's explained things about COVID-19 and how it's a great book. It's all
Okay.
I don't even know what to say. It's amazing. Let's just say.
Okay. So you see, I couldn't help myself but to put you on my last question. I could not help. I'm sorry about that, but you have to
No,
come out.
fine. That's
Mhm.
fine. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you. Your conference, your presence, you have that presence and that special energy to you. We very much enjoyed connecting with you, and I hope that we keep in touch, and especially for UNESCO Center for Peace, because kids need to hear your word and need to hear your message. Thank you very much, Mrs. Lucy.
My
Okay, the
pleasure.
last thing I didn't say earlier, but once you join us in any of our program, you become part of the family. So, in family, we don't say we are coming, we don't schedule, we just knock at the door, talk, talk, talk. So be ready for us. Okay. Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you
Mrs.
so much.
Lucy.
You
Thanks for
have a
having
wonderful
me.
day. You're
Same
welcome.
to you. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.